Oh, add to stage. Hey guys. Oh, I ain't did this in a long time. Okay. So we just moving and grooving, y'all. Just bear with me because it's a small business. Okay, so I have Darren, the bald artist, on the phone, and we about to get her on the stage in a minute. How y'all feeling? Or Darren, I could just stay on here and I could ask you questions on Instagram. Okay. Hey guys, so we got a little bit of technical difficulties over here, but we about to move and groove with it. You feel me? I appreciate y'all patience. We are going live with Darren. All right, let's see where she at. We're gonna go live. What is looking like? You don't bounce back, you rebuild. Live podcast. Hey, y'all getting behind the scenes. How y'all doing in here? How y'all doing? Let me know y'all in the building. We're on live on my Instagram, okay? Ooh, I got liquor in the background. Let me get rid of that. Hello. How y'all feeling? How y'all doing? I think we need to do it like this so we can see each other. How y'all feeling? We got multiple camera angles. You know what I'm saying? How are we feeling, guys? How is it looking? Oh, let me turn off my Cricut. Hey, if y'all rocking with the shirt, you feel me? Oh, look, we got boxes everywhere. Lord Jesus, we don't bounce back. We rebuild. You feel me? How are we feeling, guys? What's popping, y'all? So let me get the questions up so I just know what we're talking about. You feel me? Welcome on in. Welcome to Ask Me, wife, mom equals designer. Hold up. Oh, I gotta invite you, don't I? I forgot. My bad. Let me invite you right now. Okay. Slow. You know, that's how you know I don't be on here. Let's see. How do you invite people? Okay. Bear with me. This is gonna be real dope in 2 seconds because then I know what I'm doing. So yes, welcome to the podcast Live Thursdays. This is our very first one, so bear with me. I ain't did these lives on here in a very long time. You feel me? Okay. Hey, there. I'm sitting here just to talk it, and I said she gonna be on in a minute, and I never invited you. Well, I'm glad you sent me an invite. Oh Lord, okay, listen, we just talked about how are you? I'm sending to the people that we are live. Yes, I'm good. I was trying to set up this tripod and not tip over. Okay, so Darren, introduce yourselves. You probably introduced yourself a couple times to the people, but introduce yourselves. You introduce yourselves to some, but known to many. Introduce yourselves to few. So tell the people who you are, what you do. You feel me? Let me see. Who am I?
I'm an artist. I will say I'm a creative because I feel like I'm interested in doing so many creative things. But yes, okay. My name is the Bald Artist. Not so bald now, but I usually am bald, and I try to stay bald for the most part. So that's where that came from.
Okay.
Just embracing, me creatively, my creative looks, which is me just being. I always want to shave my head off, so that's also part of my creativity. But I would just say I'm more so like a multifaceted creative. I really don't limit myself to anything creatively. If I want to do nails, if I want to paint, if I want to sketch, if I want to just, try in so many different mediums. But I feel like I'm most known for, like, of course, my fine art, my portraits, things like that. So I don't know. I never really can introduce myself like that well because I don't really talk about myself that much, I guess. At least not well. I need to start doing that more.
But
the positive thing.
But this is the thing though, right? Because you are multifaceted when it comes to you being an artist. You feel me? You are multifaceted, right? But that's what we're on here talking to, because since you are a boss, you feel me? Because like you said, you're creative and you do many things as a creative, you feel me? And so that's what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? You being that person, you are a mom. You feel me? You listen, we gonna claim it soon to be wife. You feel me? And you is a creator. You feel me? Like you a designer of many things, of visual art, of creative, you know what I'm saying? All the works, right? But I want them to know, like, so, the reason why I even had this podcast, right? As I'm still inviting the people, they talking about it failed to send. Hold up. We don't bounce back. That's when I need a producer right now. We rebuild. But that's why I even created this entire podcast, right? It's because, okay, y'all, they on a little bit. My bad. I'm over here trying to find y'all. Y'all on. Come on in the room. Come on in the room, right? As if y'all ain't know, we are on live. I'm sorry, over here on Facebook and YouTube. We're on Instagram live with the Bald Artist, but I'm talking to y'all and I'm talking to y'all. We got different camera angles. Okay, that looks good. Okay. You feel me? So, production. Okay, hey Squid, hey Mighty, hey Makiba. Okay, these are all our folk. Amen. So listen, the reason why I even created this podcast was because y'all all know I became a mom. And when I became a mom, I feel like, oh, Lord Jesus. It was a lot. You feel me? And
it's a culture shock. Honestly, it's a culture shock.
It's a lot. And I just feel like when I became a mom, everything had to pause. Now, this whole podcast is about me becoming a mom, me becoming a wife, and I'm still a designer, right? I'm trying to show y'all my shirt. You know what I'm saying? You don't bounce about your free bill. Sorry, shameless plug. But all of that, I became all of these things, and I had to pause on my dreams, right? And quite as it's kept, I don't think they know, Darren, you were the very first person I told that I was pregnant to. You know why? Because I knew you were a boss. You was a mom, but you were still doing it. And I was like, yo, I need somebody else who's in the field like me when it comes to being a mom. And I'm still like, can I still do my career? Can I still do this? You feel me? So how was it when you had, because I know my story, right? Because y'all heard my story on my podcast every Sunday morning. We talking about it. But we come on Thursdays and we talking to the people, you know what I'm saying? Talking to the other moms, the other creators, the other bosses, the other wives, seeing how they're making it through, right? So with you, Darren, what was your transition? Because you had baby DJ. Like, we all had our babies. It's like all three of our little cluster from high school best friend group had our baby. Taylor put it in the water, okay? She said, I need to show.
Taylor was she was the jump start of it.
Okay.
I just remember, and I'm just like, wait, and I remember her saying, like, oh, all y'all should have kids now.
She definitely said that. And I said, no. We all said no.
Look what happened.
Okay. And so, but tell us your transition, Darren, because Darren, you got pregnant at the peak too. Like, you had a gallery in Akron. She had a gallery downtown Akron. You, like, I know your story, so look, this one is an easy one. You had a gallery downtown Akron, moving and grooving. How was that transition? Like you was like, this is something that you wanted, you prayed for, and it's like, and I got this little baby. How am I supposed to manage all this?
It was like, I guess the best way I can describe it, right, is like you're fighting so hard. Like, you hear my baby outside playing.
My baby,
you're fighting, not by himself though. He with his granny.
Look, Chancellor's out there with cousin Chip. I understand.
Gotta have our eyes on him. But I guess the best way I can describe it is like, those people who like try so hard to make it to the top of Mount Everest, right? And I feel like you get there, right? I feel like it was one of those things where it's like, okay, I'm beating all these obstacles, I'm hiking, I'm like going through all these storms, and I finally reached the top of it, and I fall off with no parachute. That's how I felt. That's how it felt for me.
Hold up. And so you said you climbed Mount Everest.
Yeah. And it's just like you make it to the top, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm celebrating. And the come back down to me with finding out I was pregnant was like, boom. I mean, because it was just hard for me. I think also it was so many things going on at the time, like my mom battling cancer, my uncle losing my grandmother. It was so many things all at once. Just personally, relationship things, like it just wasn't, again, it wasn't planned. You know, like for you and Charles, it's like you guys, you know, y'all in this tight knit, y'all know, like y'all was getting married, things like that. Like that wasn't the same dynamic for me.
Yeah.
Although I love his father and like, you know, we're together.
And he had loved you since high school. I'm sorry, I have to make mention of that too.
I mean, and that's a beautiful thing, but it's like, you know, and we, of course we came together and like partnerships on this beautiful little being that we created. But it wasn't that dynamic, I guess, for me, because it was not, you know, just being transparent. It was not it wasn't the ideal situation for me. It wasn't like it was planned, like, oh my gosh, yes, like, you know, let's create this baby. But yeah, so that it was just, to me, it was so many different dynamics of like, oh my gosh, like, you know, this is happening. And it was hard. Like in the beginning, of course, it was like, oh, okay, I got like now that first trimester, it's like, okay, you know, you a little tired, but I mean, I was always sleepy. I got low iron, so I could deal with that.
Okay. But you said I got low iron.
Once it got towards the end, and like once he got here, it was just like, okay.
Darren, at your baby shower, you left. You said, I'm about to go take a nap. I'm like, girl, it's the middle of your baby shower.
I was tired. It was a lot, and I was having breast and Hicks, and it was just, again, like, you know, on a deeper level, you know, things that was going on like behind the scenes. So I feel like it was just a lot, like mentally, physically. Pregnancy was beautiful. No symptoms, no morning sickness, no anything. Like literally, pregnancy, labor and delivery, everything was amazing. It's just the mental part of it, and I feel like nobody prepared me for that after. Of like, okay, boom, this baby's getting here, and postpartum depression and things like that. So I feel like all of that took a toll on my creativity. Like my mind was still constantly going on like what I want to create. I want to, you know, do this. I want to create this. I want to, like, it was that, you know. But I just, for whatever reason, just could not get anything on the paper. Then, of course, I'm like sleep deprived. And the one time I did try to paint, I'm like trying to paint while trying to breastfeed. And then it's like, okay, now I can lay you down. Now I'm trying to pump. Now I'm trying to.
So much.
It was just a lot. It was a lot. And I feel like it took me like 2 years for me to get to a point of like, okay, I'm feeling back like myself. Like now, like he just turned 3. And like 2 years, I was feeling like myself, but still like still trying to find this new me and getting out of this mindset of like, I need to get back to who I was. I need to get back to, and it's like, there's no going back.
This is the new normal.
Take who I am and make that better. And really accept this new norm of who I am. And not making just being a mom my identity, because I feel like I did that because I was so like, okay, my baby, I got to figure this out. My baby, I got to, you know, and I was losing so much of myself. Yeah. My confidence, I just was more so like, I don't know. And then even like the weight, it was like, okay, this is a different type of like, even working out, like, you know, it just, everything just feels so different. And it's like, okay, like it just took a lot to really get used to. So it took me, and I don't want to like scare anybody from like pregnancy or anything, because it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
It is.
And just feeling that love from him is just, it made it all worth it. Will I do it again? I don't know, probably not. But I'll be on the fence. But it was worth it. But it definitely took a lot for me to get back to not just Darren the mom now, like, but Darren the artist who also has a kid. Like, I feel like I'm trying to like change my title in my mind.
And we have to.
Who I am.
It's all about, like you said it best, it's all about rebuilding. Like the bounce back, the snack back culture is so real. And I feel like we push that so much. And I ain't gonna lie, I was praying. I said, Lord, I want no stretch marks, Lord Jesus. And I ain't gonna lie.
I got the stretch. I got
hey, I ain't gonna lie. I got what I prayed for, but I'm real smart. I said I was slim thick before I had this baby. Now I'm slim. But it's like we have to really own this postpartum body that we have. You know what I'm saying? Switching gears a little bit. Like we got to own this. I feel like even as creatives, you know what I'm saying? Like we can wear anything. You feel me? Because we have that confidence. I done left my Cricut heat press on. Ooh, Lord, this thing heat. That's why I'm hot. The heat press is on. But I know, right? But like, as a creator, we can because we're creative in our minds, so we can put together anything and just wear it. But the thing is, like, being a mom, it hit my confidence a little bit. I was like, dang, I look like I'm wearing my mom's clothes like I'm 12. You feel me? And I'm still nursing. So they said, and it's so crazy. Like I knew all this stuff. Like I knew this. I said, yeah, this one girl was real thin when she was nursing. I said, oh, you look good in your swimsuit. But then I'm like, oh, dang, I knew this was going to happen. You feel me? So it's like we're such in a pressure to get back to where we was before. Even when it comes to like mentality wise with creating. Tell me if you agree, which I know you do. How much time did we waste?
That's the thing. I really I had to give myself grace and get out of this mindset of beating myself up because I was like, I had all this time and all this freedom and I'm sleeping in or I'm going out or I'm doing. And I mean, I would stay up late and create. Like I can sit in one sitting, I'll finish a painting.
Yeah.
In something that it would only take me maybe one sitting all day, 8 hours. I just, snack, whatever.
Yeah.
Now it takes me like a week or 2 weeks juggling a toddler. So it's like, and that bothered me at first as well, because it's like, dang, I used to be able to get this done so fast. And I fell behind in so many orders while I was pregnant, because in my mind, I was thinking, I can do this, I can do that. As creatives, and people who are self-employed, there's no maternity leave. Okay.
Man.
So, even that thought, like that process, because it was not like something I had planned for at that moment.
Man.
It was just like, okay, yeah, I'm at this point where my business is so like successful. Like my business is doing really good, but being pregnant and being tired and being burnt out and worn out. And I literally like really before my eyes just kind of watched my business kind of dwindle down because I did not have the energy and the drive to continue doing what I was doing.
Yeah.
Where I was used to being like, okay, I'm staying up late, I'm pumping things out, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, my social media, everything kind of fell off.
Yeah.
So which means that my business suffered in a way.
Yeah.
So where I'm like, okay, having to get back to the point of like, okay, I have orders that weren't fulfilled, people I had to refund, or people who already, before the refund process, they just disputed. And it's just like, okay, I understand, because things had happened, and I was sending emails out, apologizing, like, there's no excuse. This is
no, it's real.
A mistake. It was just something that had happened that affected so many things. That at least I know better. Like if I were to have another child, like, as an entrepreneur, like I know how I would do things differently. But it definitely was a lot. It was a lot. And just like that time part of it is like, now that I don't have as much time, I'm like, I need to use it all up. And I feel like I do better at like, okay, I don't have time. Nap time, 2 hours. I have 2 hours to get this.
Two hours. Okay.
That's it. I have 2 hours. So literally trying to go through like that whole process of like, okay, really making and sticking to a schedule, like writing things down. Like I have to stick to a schedule now, and I have to write things down.
And that is so crazy because we was not the people to do any of that. We was rock stars, as Rihanna say it.
We were so like carefree and like, oh, I know I got to do this. I'm gonna do it. I know I'm gonna do it. But now with the Tyler, it's like I can't say I'm gonna do this later because I don't know how things are gonna go with this Tyler. He may not decide he want to sleep. He may decide I'm not about to take a nap, or he may, So just thinking of all of that time wise, it's like.
No, that's real.
It's definitely that was a challenge, and that's something I'm still learning. Even though I feel like now I kind of have this groove, especially for mothers who are not immediately putting their kids in daycare like how we did. We weren't putting our kids in daycare.
Chance is still in daycare.
I'm getting to the point where I'm putting my kid in school because that's something that is really beneficial for him.
Yeah.
With also because not only do I have a toddler, I have a toddler who is on the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
which also adds more things into it. We're trying to make sure that he has all the things that he needs, all the tools. I'm taking him to therapies multiple times a week, which also ties into that time. So him about to start this new school, that's going to help me as far as the time, but it's still that time part. I feel like if anything, being a mom has shown me like how important time is. Like, I feel like I knew before, but I was not really like, wasn't honed in on it like I should have been.
We ain't know.
Like, yeah, so now I'm like, oh yeah, no, like time is important for me, like, you know, and even trying to make time to spend time, like not him just with me while I'm working, or like seeing him, you know, because then sometimes I feel bad, like, dang, I'm giving you so much screen time today because I need to get this done.
But I learned how to balance that. I've learned how to balance that. For me, at least, I know when it comes to timing with toddlers, right? With Chancellor, I know when I'm working, you working, okay? I give him that tablet, that iPad, and I'm doing work, you're doing work. And I ain't just having him just watch no really stuff. Chancellor's learn his ABCs, his 1, 2, 3s, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm going to school, like you going to be working as I'm working, you know what I'm saying? And I made sure of that. Because I'm like,
them super simple songs will get you right.
They will. And Ms. Rachel, he love her, and Ms. Monica. And it's crazy because, like, I feel like when it comes to time, I feel like it just goes back to me trying to go back and bounce back to how it was before. And you can't bounce. You literally can't bounce back as much as you try.
There's no going back.
There's no going back. So tell me the rebuilding process, right? So we can't bounce back. It's a wrap. We have a new normal. You feel me? There's a new normal. There's new stuff that we gotta wrap our mind around. A toddler, you got a baby on the spectrum. We gotta wrap around. Listen. My house is a mess, if y'all can see it. You know what I'm saying? So we now at a point where it's about rebuilding. So we don't bounce back. Hey, the shirt says you don't bounce back, you rebuild. Okay, amen.
I like that. I need one of those.
Okay, I got you. They're for sale, guys. They're for sale. So listen, how are you rebuilding, Darren?
Ooh,
or what's the steps? What's the steps?
I can't speak for anyone else, but for me, my rebuilding process started with me. Like literally, physically, and spiritually and mentally. Like, I got a therapist who I see on a weekly. I love her. Like, I literally get off the phone like, oh my gosh, I love you.
You be saying
like,
that? I'm done.
I be wanting to say it. I don't say it because I'm like, I don't want to make it weird. But I had to get a therapist. I had to start really thinking about self-care and what really getting my mind, like it really getting back on track spiritually and mentally and physically, because like, you know, really making sure I'm eating better, making sure I'm actually resting, because at one point in time I was like, okay, I'm not getting any sleep, like I didn't get any work done, I'm not going to sleep, I'm just going to have to stay up, and then I'll just nap when he naps in the morning, or you know, so now okay, I'm still guilty of that sometimes, you know, my work schedule, but I try not to anymore, and if I do, it's only like once a week, and I try to figure out, make sure I don't have a lot to do the next day.
Right.
And then recently my mom has been like super helpful. She's been in town and she's been like coming every day. So I haven't had to stay up late. I'm just like,
you can get some stuff done.
You know, I'm getting some sleep too. And then when she gets here, she literally has him from like 10 o'clock until 5, 6 o'clock. And she like stays with him, and you know, I pop out there, you know, for lunchtime, and we have lunch together, things like that. But I'm just like, girl, don't you want to like live with me and be like a living nanny? Like, that would be amazing. But that's really for me to rebuild. To rebuild this version of Darren really took some time. Really took time for me to like. I had to take time.
Yeah.
To really get my mind right and get like, because I feel like I slacked off in a lot of things. I used to wake up, meditate, pray.
Girl,
journal,
come on.
All of that.
Can you do it now?
Doing any of that, huh?
Can you do it now?
Can I? I can. As long as I wake up early, and that has to be like a day where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wake up early. Like, but even then, like the way our morning routine goes, like I'm still, and I'm able to do that now because for one, he's older. So I'm like, I wake up, okay, breakfast, this is this. While he's eating breakfast and everything, I'm able to sit down and I have that time. My goal is to start waking up again because I wasn't at one point in time and I stopped. So my goal is to wake up a little, like at least maybe 45 minutes before he does, and get all that stuff out the way. So then by that time, it's like, okay, breakfast is already ready. Cool. You know, we're in a groove of things. Because initially, like, you know, we're working stay-at-home moms. We're not stay-at-home moms who are just like, that's all we're doing is caring for the kids.
Thank you.
We're like stay-at-home moms that are still working and trying to make sure things are flowing with our kids. So that I feel like that's at least what I had to do first. And then once I started really working on my mind, because I dealt with postpartum depression too. And I feel like because it was
How
so
was
much
that?
going on.
How was that? How was that? How was coming back from that, dear?
Oh my goodness, that was hard. That was hard because not understanding why I was so sad, or not understanding why like I was so emotional. Like that was a hard for me. Until it was like, okay, you know, and I had a doula who was amazing, and it was still just like, okay, you know, that her pretty much reminding me like the symptoms that I was having and like giving it a name, where I was like, okay, you know, this is actually what's going on. So it pretty much was, I will say that was tough. That was tough. And I really honestly can't remember or recognize like when I got out of it. Like I just remember feeling good again. I feel like I just remember like being like, wow, I really feel good. So that's why it was so important to me to really work on like the mind part first. Because once I felt good inside and once I felt good mentally and spiritually, that manifested in every other area for me. So then it was like, oh, I feel so good. Like I want to paint. I feel so good. Like I want to work out. I feel so good. Like, oh, let me sketch this. Like it became something that like everything else, that part of it manifested into me getting back into my creative bag. For me at least. So I always like encourage, like I'm always telling people like, you got a therapist? Like,
no, that's
it
real.
Really felt so good for me. Like it again, and like praying, like really being able to pray and like sit still. Because I feel like at first I'll be like, you know, or at one point in time I would like, oh, I'm praying. Oh, I said my prayers, but I never really sit still in order to hear God. I feel like I was just doing all the talking. Like I'm just talking.
Almost fell out the chair. And that's real because I feel like how many of y'all in the comment section below, tell us how many of y'all have experienced one postpartum or the bounce back, you know, culture. Because I feel like for me, I'm grateful. I'm not going to lie. I did not experience postpartum. I didn't. My issue when Chancellor was infant was I couldn't sleep because I was nervous. I've heard a lot of stories.
That's a real thing too.
I've heard a lot of stories. Yeah, about, you know, these babies dying in their sleep and stuff. And I'm not trying to scare nobody either who ain't no mom out here. You feel me? But like literally, I was nervous. Like I couldn't sleep. Like and I feel like I still kind of have that too.
Part of it.
See, well,
not only do you lose sleep from just the kids wanting to, you know, you have to every 2 hours, you know, you're feeding
both her babies.
Feeding a child, you know, you have to be up. But on top of that, when you can sleep, it's like this fear. Like honestly, I went so long, like I've just now gotten to the point because literally I would just hop up out my sleep, like really fast. Like if I'm sleeping too deep, I would hop up and like just to check on him.
That's so real.
And he would just be like, he's asleep, he good, you know. But I always would just hop up.
That's so real.
Anxiety when I was away from him for too long. All of that, knowing that I needed the time, but then I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I'm away from him, like I don't know.
Can I tell you?
It's so much.
It's Jules right here. See, Jules went to Kent with me. Jules said she had postpartum with both her babies. She's still checking on them. They're 9 and 5.
Oh, I understand that, Jules. I feel like I'm gonna be the same way.
Listen, me too. Like Mighty said, okay, another Kent stater. She said postpartum anxiety often goes along with the depression, but it isn't talked about as much.
That's a good one.
See, Mighty, thank you, because I said I ain't had depression, but my anxiety, like, it gets me chilled. It went to here. Y'all, like, can I tell y'all, because to this day, like, I really like Chancellor to sleep with me. I'm not gonna lie. It just makes me feel more comfortable. Like, he got his bed. He'll sleep in there. But when he wakes up, they be like, put him back to sleep in his bed. Now, if he want to be with me, he can be with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like that. Chancellor sleeps on me in naps. We still nurse, so he sleeps on my boo in a nap because it's just like, unless I got work to do, I'm like, I'm his comfort. Exactly. And he's mine, for real.
I know, let these kids do it. That's still my baby. He's 3. But it's like, that's still, you know, and sometimes he still reached that age now where sometimes he don't want me hugging all on him, but if he's tired and he want me to hold him, I'm gonna hold him.
and that's real. And I appreciate you, Mighty. Mighty, I never knew that. So I'm gonna start saying that. I actually have postpartum anxiety because that is real.
That's a real thing.
But tell me about, so we talk about the rebuilding of it, right? So you had your steps for rebuilding. What about the healing process? I guess that's the same as rebuilding, but talk about your healing process mentally and your body wise. You feel me? Because like we was talking, we briefly said it, that body don't look the same. You feel me? But we gotta, every scar has a story. I had a C-section. That scar is it's a war wound. You feel me? Like, so these scars are real. These stretch marks, I got some back there. You know what I'm saying? They are real. So it's just like, what's the healing process for you when it comes to that? And y'all put in the comments below, what was y'all healing process too?
For me, personally, I'm still healing. Honestly, it's still ongoing.
I mean, baby 3. Baby is 3.
Yeah, he's 3, and it still feel like I'm at such a better place to where I'm like more in tune with my body, but so much change that I feel like was not talked about. Like literally the body odor that when you have a baby,
girl.
Like
I also want to say something offensive to another culture.
But my doula explained it to me like, well, it's your body's gonna be your hormones and everything is gonna put out more of a stench so that they can find you. And I'm just like, hold on,
they looking for us? That's crazy. Destiny over here. Destiny over here on Facebook.
It lasts so long, but it still was like nobody talked about that part. Like I had to like find so many different deodorants because it's like, it's more sweat. And then I don't know. I mean, you've been breastfeeding for a while. For me, I breastfed for 5 months, and I did not regain all of the feeling back in my nipples. Sorry if that's TMI.
Sometimes I can't tell. Sometimes I can tell if he's sucking or not. I'm like, I don't know if he's sucking. I don't know. Unless I get it with the air. Listen.
But that's a real thing, and it like literally. And I had a vaginal birth.
She slid that thing out. You slid them on out of there, huh? You slid them up out of there, huh?
I mean, I guess so. But it took. Listen, nobody told you. That is, do your Kegels. I'll just say that. Do your Kegels, y'all. But
I ain't gotta do no Kegels. My mama said she had a C-section, so she said she's forever a virgin. I said, well, you better say it, girl. Mama started saying that. But look, Darren, over here on Facebook, Facebook is moving. Destiny said, I'm still healing. My oldest is 3, my youngest is 1. You feel me? She said she finally had a good night and when she was pregnant again. See, that's what happened. Then Cookie said her son is 19. And her daughter is 17. And honey, I said, forget it. Love me. You feel me? Like, love the kids. Hey, Lanice, tell us, Darren, like, you slid in my body. Continue. I'm sorry.
I mean, I won't say he slid about.
Oh.
It was a process. I feel like I was
probably
in labor for like maybe almost 24 hours, honestly, because they said, and I was trying to go natural. I was going all natural. They had the pool, the tub. I'm like, oh yeah, I got this. I'm gonna go natural. Girl, I was hungry. I was tired. Everybody else around me smacking. I had Dayron sneak me some crackers.
You ain't supposed to eat.
Huh?
You ain't supposed to eat.
I know, but I was like, give me some crackers. I wanted some crackers. I was hungry. So pretty much like that whole. I want to say my water broke, or at least I thought it all broke. That was like 3 or 4 in the morning the day before. I didn't have him until 3 in the morning that like following day. So it was almost pretty much 24 hours.
Oh my.
And it took so long. It stalled because the sac didn't fully release. So they were like, oh, we're just gonna bust the rest of your water and everything would be moving. But by that time I was already 7 centimeters. Like it was cool. Everything was fine. It just felt like regular cramps until it reached that like I was getting close to 8 centimeters and I was like, oh no, absolutely not. Bring me the drugs. So then after that, I was like, I just want a nap. And I took it, like, they had to wake me up, like, oh, it's time to push. So I'm like, oh, okay. Now, I did have a 2nd-degree tear. I did tear. So that made it hard because I was so nervous to use the bathroom afterwards. But I had a midwife.
Okay.
So that was amazing because they kept trying to push, like, nope, it's a long time, C-section. Once my midwife came, she was like, nope, turn on your side, do this. Baby slid. Let Dayron catch the baby, slid out. I had the leg cord clamp and all of that. I'm like, oh.
Did you push him out yourself? Behind, like on your knees?
I pushed like 3 times.
Sheesh,
and then he was out. But I will say, now that that healing process after that vaginal birth, now it was all cool when them drugs was on. Yes, it's like, oh yeah, this is cool, this is smooth, let's go. When they wore off, yeah, that was different.
I mean, that's real. Over here, Cookie over here on Facebook said people think talking about transition and a C-section. She said people think C-section is easy way. Honey, she said, honey, cough after that would change your minds. I don't think that people think is thinking through, and that's real. I just always was like, I don't know how I'm gonna have this baby. Where's it gonna come out? My elbow, my belly? I don't understand. I just was like, I don't understand.
You're not just carrying it.
So I never really try to think about that process. But when I tell you that process for me, like my pregnancy is, I probably talk about it. It was very like Darren. It was beautiful, blissful. I slept the best sleep of my life. Everybody a lot of people here are moms.
That sleep is always amazing.
I tell everybody who are new moms, I said, y'all better get the best sleep of your life when you're pregnant, because I'm telling you, you ain't gonna never sleep like that again, ever in your life. My mama sleeps every Saturday morning. Okay, me and Brian is 35 and 33. You feel me? Because she couldn't sleep. You know what I'm saying? For all them years. Mommy said I was in Chicago for 6 months. She talking about, Brayshaw, I ain't sleep not one night. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, Destiny said pregnancy is fire. Destiny said she was induced, and if she could do it over again, she would have waited. See, and the Mighty said she had an emergency C-section. Took me almost a year to be able to talk about the birth without tearing. Mighty, how old is Kennedy? She like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You know.
See, and I remember I was a week late, so they talked about inducing me, and I said no, I don't want to, because my doula, which also I feel like a lot of people don't know about having a doula. Like a lot of people don't know. Like it's a lot of people that I talked to who they were like, well, I didn't know that was a thing, and I thought it was expensive. But then we have Birth and Beautiful communities here in the Akron, Cleveland area where you can get a doula for free. And that's what I had. I had a doula for free.
Man.
It was amazing. You know, so it's that was something that I love, because she advocated for me in the best way, and she prepared me and Dayron. Like, okay, we need to do a birthing plan. We need to do this. We need to do this. Make sure everything you want, that's what you get.
Yeah.
And making sure, like, having make a copy for and talk to everybody who was going to be in the room.
And that's so smart. And I feel like that really helps you when you're trying to, because like, it's like you're building a person essentially. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember, I read or watched Cree Summers said, it's some cultures when the baby is about to be born, the first drop of blood, they're mourning the mother because she is no longer the mother. She is no longer that person who she was before. Yeah. And she said, and then that first drop of blood, they mourn her because you are no longer that person. And then when the baby is born, then they celebrate because it's a new life. But you have to mourn yourself. Darren, did you mourn yourself?
Dang. Oh, I did for sure.
You did.
I did for sure. I was still doing, I want to say up until maybe last year, honestly, maybe 6 months ago. I feel like that was when I got to this phase of like, okay, I'm no longer mourning that Darren. Now I'm in celebration mode. That's where I'm at. I am celebrating who I am and who I've grown to be, because it still grows no matter what. It took a lot to get here, and I feel like it was so many like, oh my goodness. But I'm now in this celebration mode and embracing me, embracing my new body. Like, I mean, shoot, like, you know, girl, it took me forever to get the body I wanted right before I got pregnant. Literally.
But Darren, you always been thick. You always been cute and thick, girl. Okay.
I know I've always been thick, but I was like, okay, I wanted to be slim thick for a minute. And I was able to be slim thick for 2.5 seconds.
Okay, me too. Okay, and then it was a wrap. I said, well, damn.
But you've always been slim, petite. Like, that's your build. Like, your build is always, you know, like slim. So, I mean, but you still have like slim curves.
Thank you.
You've always had like slim curves. And then the baby gave you like, you know, you still got like more of those little curves.
Well, I don't know. It ain't a whole bunch of curves. Because listen, I'm over here like, dang, I'm high school weight. Literally, I'm my high school weight. And I'm like, dang, but I'm burning calories because I'm nursing the baby all day.
I feel like that's, a lot of people also don't talk about how that looks different for everybody. Because I was always told, oh, breastfeed, you'll drop that weight. Breastfeed. I breastfed for 5 months. Nothing dropped. Now, it wasn't my birth weight. I feel like that was pretty much it. Like, you know, my pregnancy weight. but nothing extra came off.
You know what?
At all.
Can I tell you that? And it does, right? Because I heard that if you breastfeed, it put your stomach down. You know what I'm saying? Black mommies, come on, y'all. I love it. They comment over here on Facebook. Hey, y'all. Hey. Can I tell you, for me, like I said earlier on the call, so side note, if y'all know, we talking to Darren over here, the bald artist over here on Instagram. So I appreciate y'all vibing. I love this. We got 5 people and 6 hearts and thumbs up over here on Facebook. But yeah, Darren said, hey, y'all. Can y'all hear her? Let me know if y'all can hear her. But I feel like for me, definitely, I think it's me breastfeeding, because I still breastfeed kind of like he don't eat. Like, Chance and me and Chance be up here watching TV. He be on the nipple. I'll be on my phone or my iPad, and he'd be watching TV.
He aggressive with it too. He'll whip it out and he's taking like, give me this.
Like it's his. We outside nowadays. He whips it out a t-shirt. He knows how to get my boo from here, from my collar. You feel me? I'm like, boy, bye. But tell me, like, going back to that, the mourning process. You had to mourn your old self. And I asked the people over here on Facebook, and I'm gonna ask the people over here as we close it on up. How was your mourning process? What is your mourning process to be the woman you were, to the mom you are now, to the creative you are now? What is that? What is that?
I feel like that. That goes in that goes along with. Wait, were you asking me or were you asking it?
I'm asking you. They saying, hey, they can hear you. They say, yes, okay. She sounds great.
Oh, great. Hey, y'all.
She look good. Look.
I think that also looks like the rebuilding phase for me.
That's a rebuilding. Yes, that is.
I feel like that process, that mourning process looks like the rebuilding phase for me, because it was kind of like it wasn't that I wanted to bury that old me. Like real, I didn't really want to bury it. It was more so of like mourning that old me, but still taking bits of her and bringing her along with me on this new journey, and realizing the things that I had to unlearn. That trauma that I had to leave behind, not just childhood trauma, but also trauma that I experienced while pregnant, trying to leave that behind, because I feel like I had went through, when you're pregnant, you're always told, focus on the baby. You're trying to be positive. You're trying to do those things. So the things that I went through, I'm going through so much during that time that I just pushed it back. I just kept pushing it to the back of my mind. Okay, I'm not going to deal with this. I'm not going to allow this to come in, because I want to stay positive. I have this baby, and it was such a real process for me, even with this unplanned birth. Now I can't really say fully unplanned, because I knew what I was doing.
Mine was unplanned. He is immaculate conception. Me and Charles don't know how he got here.
I do remember you saying that. For me,
you knew. Look, we all knew. We all knew.
So that was like, So, and again, in transparency, I had 2 appointments. I had one for the abortion clinic, and I had one to go and hear my baby's heartbeat and, figuring out what I was going to do. And once I prayed on it, of course, my baby is here, and it was the best. It was the best decision that I made. But
what made you choose one appointment over the other?
I honestly cannot. I don't know. I guess I feel like I also had my cousin. My cousin Aries was like a main, like a really like big part of that process for me.
Yeah.
And she was talking to me about it. Like, you'll be good. She was encouraging me, because I'm just like, what is going on? My mom just announced to us that she has cancer. I'm like, this is just a lot. Everything. I just opened this business. I'm like, things are, so it was at a time, I found that out at a time that I always say was the best and the worst year of my life. So it's like this weird dynamic of like, yes, I'm feeling on top. I'm working with the NBA. I'm working with Hulu. I'm working with all these businesses, and really like getting myself out there and all these projects. And then, and then I'm dealing with my mom having cancer, who can't even be there during the process. And like, I'm traveling to Charlotte, to where she is for surgeries and to check on her and things like that. So that, all of that was just like, okay. So it really took me to like get to this point of like, for one, it was time for me to really face the things that I put aside during that time, because I never dealt with them. So again, my therapist, being able to be like, okay, yeah, I need to really I really need to dump this. Like, this is something I need to drop off, and I don't want to pick it back up. So getting to that part of being like, okay, I'm mourning the things that happened, and my mourning really it included actual tears too. Like I cried a lot. But getting to this point of like what I describe as the rebirth, because now I didn't only give birth to a son, I gave birth to a new need during that time, like another, like you know what I'm saying, like the birth of a mother. And that's why every time I go to a baby shower, I get something for the mom.
Yeah, you do. Like, you got me stuff. I remember that.
I have to get stuff for the mom, because I feel like that's also something that I feel like we're all like, baby, the baby. Like, everybody gonna get stuff for the baby. But I'm like, oh no, like, we have to still focus on the mom. So even like for my cousin Aries, when she just had her baby shower in November, I'm like, okay, I got her like just really stuff for her, like stuff for postpartum care and things like that, and relaxation. And I'm more so like, this is what I want to focus on, because it's not only, you're not just giving birth to this baby, you are giving birth to a new person. Like a new woman is being birthed at that same time.
Exactly.
So, and that's why it resonated to me with what Pre Summers was explaining, because it's like, yeah, that's a real thing. So I feel like that mourning process really took it to me. I really had to treat it like, okay, I'm mourning it, I'm laying it to rest. But then getting to that point, like how when you had a repast, yeah, we cried, we sad, but now we in celebration mode. We are celebrating this life.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at now. I am celebrating me and who I have become, this amazing mother that I am, because I have to toot my own horn.
Amen. Toot it.
We all should, because we do this, and we are great mothers, and you know, still trying to navigate everything. So I still make sure to celebrate me, celebrate where I'm at, you know, I've made small, you know, changes with my body and things like that. I'm slowly like knocking things off, but I'm more so like trying to be in tune and be like healthy all around. So I feel like that's what really my mourning process looks like.
I love that. Because, you know, it's such a privilege to be a mom. It is such a privilege. You know, I heard somebody say, everybody, and y'all can agree with me or not, this may be controversial, but people say my biggest accomplishment was having my child, and it don't take much to have a baby. Okay. But what I heard somebody say the other day, it is a privilege. I heard it on Basketball Wives too. Side note. Okay. Crazy. Right. But it is a privilege to be a mother, right? Even if you had the baby yourself, if you're an adoptive mother, it's a privilege to be a mom, to the Lord allow you to steward over this person's life. You feel me? And to pour into their life, to pour into them, to understand like, yo, they are under my care, and giving them back to him. Whew, that's a lot. You feel me? Because I'm over here like, I got to pray over this boy a lot. Because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. The Lord, you didn't give me this person. Right. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot. So
don't mind me, y'all. I'm plugging my phone.
Listen, it takes a lot. And I'm just so grateful that we are all able to, a lot of us on here, I think everybody on here are mothers, right? Especially the ones that's commenting. I know we are all mothers, and it's such an honor and a privilege to be a mother. It's such an honor and privilege to be a wife, a girlfriend, and somebody to love up on you. You know what I'm saying? It's such an honor and privilege to be a creative, the creative that you are. You know what I'm saying? So definitely when it comes to, thank y'all so much. When it comes to, hold up, Pop 9, I ain't take it further, saying raising them kind human beings big for me. Amen. It is. It's such an honor and a privilege to be. It's such an honor, and Darren's phone died. It's such an honor and privilege to be somebody to call you mother, somebody to call you wife, somebody to call you, to love you, the girlfriend, somebody to call you a creative. It's such an honor and privilege. And I'm so grateful to have had Darren on my live, bought artist. You feel me? Listen, God is doing a thing. You feel me? The podcast is called Ask Me, Wife, Mom, Designer equals God. And it say, don't ask me, ask God. You feel me? Because for real, I don't got the answers, but he got the answers. And it reminds me of the scripture when it say, lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. And that is what he is doing with my entire life when it comes to me being a wife, a mom, a designer. You feel me? So don't ask me, ask God. And listen, you don't bounce back, you rebuild. Okay, listen, I thank y'all so much for tuning in today for our lives, the podcast, for Ask Me Wife, Mom, Designer Equals God. You feel me? Of course, our podcast, we launch it every Sunday. You feel me? It's like 15 minutes. And then we come on Thursday and we're talking to a mother, we're talking to a wife, we're talking to a designer or creative about their experience. Listen, if you're interested in being on, I don't know, I see your phone died there. Listen, we wrapping it up. If you are interested in being on, here, I'm gonna add you back on here so you can give your whatchamacallits. If you are interested in being on one of these lives, please hit me up. Listen, I'm only doing 12 episodes, but y'all got me over here talking because I got 12 episodes popped on here. And I'm like, dang, these people are going to get on. You fine. I said her phone died. I knew it. It's cool.
Yeah, it was plugged up the whole time, but I didn't realize like the extension cord had came out, so it wasn't charging.
Listen, it's okay. Tell them, Darren, where they can find you at, what you got going on. Coming soon. Y'all know she's an artist. You feel me? So just tell the people what you got going on.
Right now I'm just working on a new series. I'm trying to continue to get my work out there, painting more. So right now that's really where I'm at. I'm in this creative phase, so I'm not really doing much yet. I'm just cooking. I'm in the kitchen right now.
Let her cook.
And yeah, so I got a solo show coming up. Hopefully in September, and then me and Brescia have some things in the work too that we're doing. So stay tuned. And you guys can really follow my process, and see what I'm working on mainly on Instagram at _. But sometimes I post on Facebook. I'm trying to get more on Facebook as well. But yeah, mostly just on Instagram.
Love it. Again, Darren, we thank you so much. Follow her on my other page. I ain't no realize. Okay, yes, Destiny says she loves you. You know Darren from Akron too, girl. So listen, okay, listen.
Yeah,
listen. But thank you so much, Darren, for joining in. I said, Darren is one. I've been knowing Darren for a long time. You feel me? A long time since high school. And listen, Darren was one of my best friends in high school. And I told y'all when I got pregnant, she was the first person I told because I said, "Girl, how you do this? How you do this?" So it's only fitting to have you. But you helped me. You said, break your babies don't come when you want them. They come when you need them. You told me that. I remember that.
And I had to keep reminding myself that because it was like, no, my gosh, no, this is not what I have planned. And what they say about you telling God your plans.
He laughing. So. He cracking up. So listen,
yeah.
it was only fitting to have you be my very first guest on my live podcast. You feel me? Listen, thank you so much. Again, guys. Y'all go follow her on all her social medias. Let me put it right here. Is at BALDARTIST _ at the bald artist _ you feel me? Go follow her on all her social medias. She's dope. She has baby prints. You feel me? She has baby prints and all that baby prints of your paintings, right? Yeah. Yes. She had baby prints. So go buy those. Run up her website. Go support. Thank you, Darren.
I'm having a special right now too.
Oh, tell the people about the special real quick.
Portrait special right now. I extended it because it sold out.
Amen.
For Juneteenth, but $55 portraits.
I'm gonna tell the people $55.
I extended it. Because we don't celebrate the 4th of July. That's not our Independence Day. So
ain't.
It's an extended Juneteenth for me.
I love it.
So
I love it.
I extended my portrait special and opened a few more up. So. Run on over there if you guys want some portraits and just check out my page and see what I do.
Amen. Well, Darren, thank you again so much for rocking with us. Ooh, I hear my baby coming. I hear him coming. So listen, until next time, y'all, please tune in.
Mine just came in here too.
Look at him. There you go. There you go. There you go. Here he comes. Listen, y'all, thank y'all so much. We wrapping it all up right on time. Hey, Chancellor.
Okay.
You say hi.
I think I just want to thank you. And then again for the future we can show our look. Cause he found my iPad.
Oh Lord. He want a nipple. And I gotta get up off here. See, I ain't got time. So I love y'all. Thank y'all. Okay. Tune in on Sundays for the episodes. Yeah, they knew they was done. We gave them an hour. But thank y'all so much. It's been real. Love you. Look, he's nursing. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all tuning in on Sundays. You say hi. You tune in on Sunday. Say hi. Say bye. You don't even know we on live. Okay. End stream. Bye, guys. You gonna